Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're shifting gears a bit. We're looking into the world of children's graphic novels, specifically a book called Bunny versus Monkey, The Great Big Glitch. It seems to be making, well, quite a splash. So our mission today is really to unpack what's behind the success of this one. We're going to explore its humor, which sounds pretty unique, its surprisingly clever plot, and why it seems to be grabbing not just kids, but their parents too. And just for context, it's got a really impressive 4.8-star rating on Amazon. It's nearly 400 reviews. So clearly something's clicking with readers. Okay, so let's get into it. What's the core appeal here? Our sources keep mentioning laugh-out-loud chaos and unpredictable humor. One review in the UK even called it fun, energetic storytelling. But what does that chaos actually look like? How do they make it work, especially for kids?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's not just, simple slapstick, although there's definitely some of that. The chaos seems to come from these incredibly imaginative, almost relentless scenarios. Things escalate really quickly. Characters react in big ways.
Yeah.
It's that constant energy, I think. And then right in the middle of all that fun energy, there's this pretty clever meta twist. The main characters, Bunny, Monkey, all their friends, they find out their whole reality is basically a simulation, like a video game.
Wow, okay. That sounds pretty advanced for a kid's book, right? A glitch in reality.
Yeah.
How do they pull that off without confusing, say, a 7-year-old? Is it actually funny?
It is, and the key seems to be how visual it is. They don't just talk about a simulation, they show it through really funny, tangible gags, like maybe a character glitches right out of the panel or the background suddenly goes all pixelated.
I see.
So that abstract idea becomes something immediate, something you can see and laugh at. It makes the whole meta thing really accessible and, yeah, genuinely funny.
Makes sense. And beyond that clever plot point, the look of the book, the visuals, they seem crucial too. How do the illustrations play into this style and its broader appeal?
Definitely crucial. The style is described as whimsical and very kid-friendly. Think bright, really bold illustrations. The characters are simple but incredibly expressive.
Right.
And that's deliberate. The colors grab your attention immediately. The simple designs mean they can really push the expressions, the actions, makes the humor land harder. It nails that 7 to 9 age group target with its energy and clarity. But the appeal becomes universal because the visuals just make the storytelling so much fun for anyone, parent or child.
So you've got this clever plot, this chaos, these great visuals. How does it manage to escalate into what our source calls joyful absurdity and stay easy to follow? We heard about things like character upgrades, magical bunny, super spy pig, even a buff weenie.
Right. A buff weenie. It sounds completely mad, but it works because it's all part of the fun, and it's presented very directly. These upgrades, they're like instant visual jokes or quick plot points. You see buff weenie, you laugh. There's not a lot of complex setup needed. It keeps the pace really fast. You're jumping from one funny situation to the next. So the silliness is always front and center, which actually makes it quite easy to follow, even when things are getting, totally bizarre.
Okay, so when we look at what fans really point to, the highlights seem to be the zany, fast-paced jokes, the inventive art, and yeah, that glitch in reality element. What is it about that specific combination that seems to work so well for both the kids and the adults reading along?
I think it's that mix. You have the rapid-fire gags, the visual humor that kids instantly get and love, but then underneath you have that slightly more sophisticated glitch idea, the meta stuff, the parents can appreciate on a different level.
Right, layers.
Exactly. The jokes aren't just throwaway. There's often a real wit there. And the art, being so dynamic, makes every page turn feel like a new surprise. So there's always something engaging, whether you're 7 or, well, older than 7.
Yeah, it definitely sounds engaging. Now, the reviews are overwhelmingly positive. That 4.8-star average is huge. But the source did mention some minor quibbles. What were those, and should we read much into them given the overall reception?
They're quite nuanced points, really, not major complaints. A few people felt it might be a little chaotic for very young kids, so maybe under 7, the sheer speed and visual density could be a bit much.
Okay, fair enough.
And some others noted it leans more towards whimsical fun than being heavily story-driven, meaning, the plot sometimes feels like it's there to serve the jokes rather than the other way around.
I see.
But honestly, these feel less like criticisms and more like descriptions of its specific style, a style that clearly the vast majority of readers absolutely love. They embrace that zany energy.
And we actually have some direct quotes here. One reader said, Bunny versus Monkey. The Great Big Glitch continues the series' tradition of laugh-out-loud moments and vibrant illustrations. Another one, a parent, shared, My kids can't get enough of the comedic rivalry. Each page feels fresh.
Yeah, those quotes really nail it, don't they? They perfectly reflect why it hits that sweet spot for 7 to 9-year-olds who love high-energy comedy, action, animal stories, all that good stuff.
Hmm.
And for parents, it's highlighted as being genuinely fun to read aloud. That's a big plus. The comedic rivalry keeps it driving forward, keeps it fresh, like that parent said. And if you're a fan of similar graphic novels like Dogman or maybe the Phoenix comic series, this fits right in. It's that same kind of zany, joyful energy.
Gotcha. So wrapping up the main analysis, what's the final verdict from our source on this book?
The source sums it up pretty definitively. It calls it a riotous, family-friendly romp through ridiculousness and retro-tech satire.
Retrotech satire, interesting.
Yeah. And it credits the creator, Jamie Smart, for his imaginative storytelling and playful cartooning.
Yeah.
Says it offers a perfect cocktail of fun, friendship, and furry mayhem. Basically, it's positioned as this joyous treat that's guaranteed to glitch your expectations, but in a really good way. And importantly, it works whether you're already a fan of the series or completely new to it. It's very welcoming.
That sounds fantastic. A really great look at Bunny versus Monkey, the great big glitch.
Yeah.
It seems that blend of just outright silliness,
Mm-hmm.
the laugh-out-loud chaos with that surprisingly meta layer, and the really engaging, vibrant art. That's the magic formula here. It's not just funny, it's quite cleverly put together.
Absolutely. And it leaves you thinking, doesn't it? Maybe as a final thought for our listeners, consider how stories like this, ones that wrap complex ideas like a glitch in reality in really simple, accessible, funny packaging, how effective that can be. Not just for getting kids hooked on reading, which is huge, but maybe also for subtly prompting them, even in a really silly context, to think a little bit more deeply about stories themselves, maybe even their own reality. It's kind of fascinating.